As we age, our brains go through phases and transformations that we have little control over. Our reflexes become slower, we become more vulnerable to disorders, and our memories begin to fade. This presentation will show what happens to our brains cognitively over time, how mental disorders affect us, and what healthy decisions we can make to help our brains in the long run. Being able to perform cognitive tasks is a vital part of participating in society. A cognitive task is one that involves the use of a physical movement and/or perception. We use our cognitive skills to do paperwork at our jobs, remember names, and do things as simple as our chores at home. Throughout our lives, our cognitive strengths and weaknesses change. For the first part of our lives, our brains become faster and more responsive, giving us quicker reactions and movements overall. But as we age, we end up becoming slower, and we eventually need help from others to do things such as mowing our lawns and being driven to grocery stores. The first kinds of cognitive tasks I will focus on are tasks that involve a fast reaction time. One thing we all know is that elderly people do not react as fast as someone in their 20s. But what isn't obvious is how different age groups are individually affected. But thankfully, many studies have been done to show us how we cognitively change over time. For example, according to the DANA Foundation, 20-year-olds perform substitution number problems 75% faster than 75-year-olds on average. From the ages of 20 to 40, our brains are at their peak, both size-wise and mental power-wise. At the age of 40 is when our brains start to lose their cognitive strength. We can also look at tasks that incorporate use of memorization. The ability to retain new information peaks early in life around the age of 20, around the time most people are in college. But that ability starts to decline at around the age of 40. This shows a trend that when we hit our midlife crisis, our mental capabilities drop. No wonder it's called a crisis. The DANA Foundation has also concluded that adults around the age of 70 only retain about 75% of the information that 18-year-olds do 30 minutes after learning something new. This partly explains why elderly people are more likely to hold on to older or outdated ideas, because learning new things becomes difficult for them. We all excel at different cognitive tasks, not only based on our age, but also based on factors such as mental practice, mental disabilities, or even just random genetics. Thankfully, as a society, our individual cognitive strengths cover up the weaknesses of others, which creates a great cognitive balance. Not only do our brains change cognitively, but mental disorders can also come into play.
Tic disorders is involuntary repetitive sounds or movement. Common type people associate with this kind of disorder is Tourette's, although people can also have motor tics, which are like blinking or clicking your fingers all subconsciously. Another one is schizophrenia. That is a disorder that affects how people think, feel, and behave. Many people believe it's just hearing voices when there are actually 5 different types that include hallucinations, paranoia, and also hearing voices. ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is impulsivity that interferes with functioning and development. Although there isn't a solid foundation of cause, scientists believe that it is genetic and is more severe when diagnosed at a young age. Although we have all these cognitive deteriorations and possible disorders that could occur, there are methods of slowing down the aging process.
Slowing down the aging process and ways to help prevent the aging process. There are things you could do physically, like Botox, facelifts, or consult with a physician about Prevligin. But I would like to share some things you can do for yourself to slow down the aging process. Nearly everyone struggles with some form of memory loss before reaching middle age. This is one of the main causes of aging. There are ways to slow down the aging process. Our brains can fight back. We can improve our memory performance immediately and stave off, possibly even prevent future memory decline. The sooner we begin our memory program, the sooner we will be on the path to keeping our brains young and healthy for the rest of our lives. It's never too late or too early to start beating the brain aging game. Even if one day researchers find a way to restore already lost brain cells, scientists say preventing the loss is always easier than restoring. Here are some things you can do to keep your brain young and exercised. Exercise physically, and the things you can do to exercise your brain is test your recall, make a list, like a grocery list, things to do, or anything else that comes to mind. Make items on your list a challenge. Learn how to play an instrument. Studies show learning something new and complex over a longer period of time isn't ideal for aging of the mind. Do math in your head, figure out problems without the aid of pencil or paper or computer. You can make this more athletic by walking at the same time. Take a cooking class or a class of your choice, learn a new language. You can refine your hand-eye abilities, take up a new hobby that involves fine motor. There's proof that living a brain-healthy lifestyle works. Keep your brain healthy through the aging process. Keep mentally young by involving yourself socially. Remain involved in the community and civic events. Stay active. Exercise is a huge part in keeping your brain young. Being treated or acting old or limiting yourself is considered negative treatment to yourself. When you group yourself as old, you mentally become old, or the process seems to come faster. Another way to slow down the aging process mentally is a healthy diet. Water, staying hydrated is important. Blueberries helps keep cells healthy, and it's beneficial for the body. Fiber plays a role in the digestive system, also helps control blood sugar levels. Fatty fish in olive oil helps prevent heart disease and stroke. Yogurt is a good source of calcium that helps bone loss, because as we age, you start to experience deterioration. Tomatoes, cooked tomatoes are better than raw, and it helps avoid prostate and lung cancer. Red wine prevents blood clots and ease blood pressure. Don't overdo it though. A glass a day is all that's necessary. Having a healthy diet and keeping your body healthy and feeling good will help you to feel good and have a positive mind to keep yourself motivated to maintain a healthy, long lifestyle.
With this knowledge in mind, it would be a great idea leaving this presentation knowing how to better yourself mentally. The speech covered many details about how our brains change as we age. We talked about how brain changes cognitively, how mental disorders affect us, and how we can help it through health and exercise. The brain is one of the most important parts of our bodies, and thanks to science, we learn more every day about it. It's up to us to treat our brains like the delicate little computers they are and keep them as healthy as possible.